Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and I have a question for you. Does it seem to any of you out there listening that there are some media outlets that have campaigns designed to scare XRP holders? I'm being real honest with this. Like, in reading, I read as many Ripple and XRP related articles as I can. Like too many, even if there are multiple articles covering the same thing. I'm always looking for different takes. And what I'm finding here is a bunch of scary sounding headlines without any sort of balanced perspective. It's nothing resembling true journalism, but then again, we're mostly talking about crypto media here. It's a bunch of C students writing a bunch of stuff, not spell checking it, making sure that there are cohesive sentences, and then just uploading it all to the Webernets. And it's like, bleh, take my vomit, bleh. That's basically what it seems like to me. And so here's what I promise I will always do and always have done on this channel. This is not a hype channel, and so I want to believe whatever is true, which means that I'm going to cover the things that do sound scary. I'm going to cover the stuff that sounds good, and just try and come to a position, certainly for myself, just believing whatever seems to make the most sense. Whether it's good or bad, I just want the truth because I have real money in XRP. If there's bad stuff that would make it so that I want to abandon ship, I better be aware of that. I'm not going to stick my head in the sand. I'm not just going to stick with XRP purely just because it's something that is gotten me to the point where I'm like emotionally attached. That's not it. My brain is going to win over my emotions every time. Let me assure you of that. And so, there's some things that I've highlighted here. And I do want to state at the outset, look, I don't have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And you should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I just think it's interesting to talk about this stuff. I am an XRP holder, and I run this YouTube channel purely as a hobby. That is all that it is. But consider this article, and I covered this the other day, so I'm not going to run through it really. I just want to mention a few things just to kind of highlight some of the stuff that I'm talking about. And I could never know what's in the hearts and minds of these people. Maybe they think that they're doing a reasonable job. Maybe they do have venom. Maybe they do have this attitude of down with banks, down with XRP. I mean, I certainly suspect some do. In the world of crypto, it's no surprise. It's no secret. That'd be the best way to word it. It's no secret that XRP is the black sheep of the crypto family. Like that's it. Because it's a cryptocurrency that's being positioned by Ripple to help the legacy financial system. And so to say down with Ripple as a result of that is a childish and unsophisticated way of looking at the world, and I could never embrace that. And that's why for me, I say, yay Bitcoin, long Bitcoin, oh XRP too. That doesn't seem so irrational or unreasonable to me. And so you have this headline from the other day from crypto media outlet You Today. XRP will be remnant of history by the end of 2021, ARCA co-founder. And so this is not a balanced article. It just has an opinion from this individual here. And I like You Today. Typically they're good. But I keep seeing this from all sorts of media outlets. I expect it when it comes to Bitcoinist.com or newsbtc.com, websites like that. I'm like, okay, well, you've been crapping on XRP for the better part of a decade. So I know that's not going to change. And so from those individuals, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's probably some sort of intentional thing to crap on XRP and scare people. That's pretty much what it is. But they had this individual right here, Phil Liu, who's the co-founder of New York-based crypto asset management firm ARCA. And he says that Ripple could be insolvent by the end of 2021. Now, that sounds scary because we do know that Ripple's important to a healthy XRP ecosystem. That's not some sort of secret or surprise. Well, what about the fact that Ripple has shared publicly information they didn't have to? And last I heard, they had hundreds of $1 million cash, just on the books. Are they going to burn through that inside of 12 months? What? And that's assuming they couldn't sell any XRP. It just doesn't make sense here. And then as far as the timeline for proceedings, this and that, I talked about their, the products they offer. Ripple offers to be inadequate while completely disregarding the fact that on-demand liquidity grew 12-fold year over year. Never minding, for instance, today, and they didn't have this information, fair enough, but today Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple CEO, put out the fact that since the SEC lawsuit, they had landed 15 new clients. So that's close to 4 per week, which is about double what they had landed for the rest of the past 12 months, over that per week basis. And I'm like, holy freaking hell! Now that's something. And so it's just, and so what about what other lawyers have to say to balance things out? Like, where are those? Where are the nice sounding articles that just if, because look, if you want to have one-sided articles, where's the separate one-sided article that it doesn't sound so scary? Like, I'm not seeing it here. And so it's completely discarded, because look, I don't have a law background, but that's why I've been seeking opinions from so many lawyers that are willing to publicly speak about Ripple and XRP, and that is what I've done. And that's why, if you've been following my channel, hopefully you've learned a bit as well, because it's not something that I could have magically imparted upon you, this knowledge, because I just didn't have the professional background to be able to do so. But what about the fact that the SEC isn't even seeking to have XRP declared as a security? And it's funny, because they're verbally arguing that it's a security, but they're not asking a judge to declare it. And a judge cannot declare something that is not requested by the SEC. So unless the claim is amended, and at this point it's a virtual certainty it won't be, because look, they've shot themselves in the foot. If they put out a 71-page document and didn't request it, and then they're like, oh yeah, we changed our minds, it's now a security, that's not going to look good. That's not going to fly. So that means that there is not a world where XRP can be declared a security. If Jeremy Hogan, who is the individual that first shared that insight, if he's correct, then there is no world where this is going to be litigated and then XRP be declared a security. Can't happen. Judge can't do it. SEC didn't request it. Period. Open shut case, according to Jeremy Hogan. And so there's that. And then there's, if you look at just what has happened with Paragon and Kick Interactive, and how, like, for instance, with Kick Interactive, they're allowed to continue selling their KIN tokens despite the fact that they lost their case against the SEC. The SEC is like, well, yeah, you can keep selling your unregistered security. Just fill out this exemption form. Give us 45 days notice, and you can keep doing it. And so they have, and they're sustaining their operations. Well, how about that? And the KIN token is allowed to continue trading on exchanges because it has not been declared a security. Well, how about that? Sounds like a good old-fashioned shakedown. And so you got people that are not in the know reading this. And so XRP community member XRP Lover shared a screen grabs of a Wall Street Journal article here. And another user responded to that and tagged me, and it's the name is Use Logic, who is at Hurt by the SEC, which is a fair enough name, I would say, and wrote the following: "This makes me even more bullish on XRP. This is intended to scare us out of our XRP holdings. When the American media pushes out a story, never take it at face value. There's always political motive behind it. Moon Lambo, I look forward to a video of you covering this article." So I'm gonna run through this, but again, I can't tell what's in the hearts and minds of some of these people. It's just some of these articles are just, many of them, most of them actually, are not balanced. It's like they didn't seek insight from a point of view that that would state, no, XRP is not today a security. Which, one of the reasons it's especially fascinating to me is because it's harder to find an attorney that thinks XRP today is a security than it is to find an attorney that doesn't. And I know that because I've been searching for them. Like, I'm speaking from personal experience on that. Outside of the SEC, there are only a few attorneys I've been able to find to this point that say XRP today is a security. And then you look at their backgrounds, though, and they're the type that didn't like Ripple and XRP to begin with. So I'm like, oh, okay. Well, you're being intellectually honest, aren't you? Do I look like an idiot? No, I'm very handsome. And so here's the piece from Wall Street Journal titled SEC Cryptocurrency Suit Key to Startup. Brad Garlinghouse, chief executive of Ripple, was last seen publicly contemplating at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, an initial public offering for the San Francisco startup. The company had just raised about $200 million in a round of venture funding led by Tetragon Financial Group with a $10 billion valuation. The value of its signature product, a cryptocurrency called XRP, it's not Ripple's product though. See, even the fine details bug me. Don't tell me I'm parsing too much. I mean, you tell me if you really believe it, but come on, guys, like, get this right. Anyway, so XRP had fallen over the previous year, but Ripple is poised to rebuild the infrastructure for cross-border trades, Mr. Garlinghouse said, promising that its future was bright. A year later, an IPO is off the table. Instead, Ripple's future hinges on a judge's ruling in a civil lawsuit filed in December by the Securities and Exchange Commission. Not necessarily. There could be a settlement. That's not mentioned there anyway. Piece continues, though, regardless of the outcome, the case is expected to become a precedent for how U.S. regulators craft rules and laws covering cryptocurrencies. Yeah, I don't think that's how it works. It's actually it's supposed to be the inverse. It's supposed to be legislators that craft the rules, the SEC that enforces it, and then the courts that adjudicate that. And so that is bass backwards. Holy freaking hell, guys. Anyway, let me just continue, though. It also highlights a broader truth about most digital currencies. Beyond the two largest, Bitcoin and Ether, most of the hundreds of others have struggled to find a utilitarian value beyond speculation. At the heart of the SEC suit is a debate about XRP, a Bitcoin-like digital asset created by Ripple's founders that would grow to become the world's third largest cryptocurrency. It was designed to be part of a network that would help banks cut expenses and cross-border transfers. The related software, however, never gained traction, the SEC alleges, leaving XRP without a clear purpose other than to funnel sales to Ripple. So they're thoroughly covering the tripe that the SEC put out, which reads as a FUD piece, fear, uncertainty, doubt piece, that could have been written by Bitcoin maxi trolls over the last 5 years. That's how it reads, you know. And as far as Ripple's products never gaining traction, well, how about the real information, since Brad Garlinghouse just put that out? He mentioned for 2020, on-demand liquidity volume has experienced a 12-fold increase, and despite the SEC allegations, 15 new customers in about a month, 4 weeks. And they averaged, for the year, 2 new customers per week. So, I'm sorry, what's not gaining traction here? Look, if you want to cite factually that the SEC alleges that, I don't have a beef. Get the other side of it. Holy hell. You lazy freaking morons. Anyway, unlike Bitcoin, which operates across an open network that isn't controlled by any one party, XRP is an asset whose value and viability depends almost wholly on the efforts of Ripple, the SEC alleges in its complaint. That makes it a security, and it should have been registered as such by Ripple years ago, according to the SEC. Yeah, except for if you do a little homework, you're going to find that it's very difficult to find attorneys that believe that. Anyway, Ripple said XRP is a currency that shouldn't be subject to securities laws. If the company is forced to register XRP as a security in the US, its potential value as a cross-border instrument would be diminished. XRP doesn't fit several of the criteria of what is called the Howey test, which the SEC uses to determine whether an asset is a security, said Andrew Serezny, a partner at Debevoise and Plimpton LLP, the law firm representing Ripple and the SEC case. And I'm going to highlight again, this name. It's it starts out so fancy and then ends up jocular and comical. It's Debevoise and Plimpton. Oh, look, I'm here and gonna do court stuff too. Debevoise and Plimpton. Somebody needs to make a sitcom about that. Anyway, XRP trades in a wide market against a range of other currencies, none of which Ripple controls, he said. Moreover, Ripple makes no promises in the sale of XRP, and the sale isn't an investment contract, he added. To us, this is the SEC trying to stretch Howey beyond its breaking point, Mr. Serezny said. Now, and again, so he is a former director of the SEC, Mr. Serezny, leading the charge against the SEC. Now, that is kind of beautiful. You gots to love that. Anyway, the agency sees it differently. Ripple has earned more than $700 million from selling XRP to the public since its founding in 2012, according to the SEC. Yeah, so why did you allow it if it's been a problem? Why'd you let that go for 8 years? Oh my God. Asshat. Jay Clayton. Asshat. Oh my God. It's really grinding my gears, guys. It's grinding my gears all up here. Anyway, according to the SEC, which said the company had generated only $23 million in revenue from sales of software through 2019. And so they're painting it as if there's something fundamentally wrong with what's going on with Ripple here. You must understand that there are all sorts of rather intelligent people investing in Ripple the company, including billionaires. And think about Tetragon. Fine, the SEC thing started on, but that's a company that was worth what? It was $2.3 billion or something like that. These are not stupid people, and they have full knowledge of the operations of Ripple. And so you're talking about a company in its early days trying to build something out that's never been built before. and there's a path forward to become viable through other additional revenue streams. And so it's been no secret that XRP's been a big part of that at the beginning, and that Ripple's been super duper transparent about it. But as the corridors are built out and more customers come on board, there's a clear path forward for additional profitability. Or do you really think all these people would be investing in Ripple the company? Are they that stupid? I sure as hell don't think so, but you don't get that kind of perspective here, which is why I'm glad that I'm able to take a piece like this directly to the wood chipper and place it inside of the wood chipper, which I will do as soon as I finish this. I'm not gonna go through the whole thing here. We got through the meat of it, the stuff I really wanted to cover anyway here. But anyway, banks haven't adopted it at any scale, and the few that have used it have directly been subsidized by Ripple, the SEC alleges. And so this goes back to an idea of liquidity, especially if you're talking about XRP as a bridge currency, where Ripple's doing the pieces they can to make it possible to have sufficient liquidity, like line of credit. But outside of that, until the asset class as a whole goes and goes up in price and value, and XRP comes along for the ride because it's part of that, like there's not going to be sufficient liquidity to do this. I've been talking about this, and people that don't get the big picture, like, oh, but it's not there now, and there's some sort of fundamental problem because of that. This has, again, never been done before in the history of mankind. They're building out something that couldn't have existed before this technology. And so you have people read articles like this with no context and no understanding of fundamentally what's going on, and it scares them. Whereas I read this and I'm like, that's either that's incorrect, that doesn't tell the whole story, or you can go F yourself when I read most of this stuff. Like that's pretty much where I'm coming from. So like I just wanted to share the message. Like there's going to continue to be all sorts of scary, spooky articles out there, and it may make you immediately feel something. And then if you do, like always be open-minded, because if there is something that is horrendously wrong, I want to know, I want to acknowledge it, and I want to share it with you, and you should want to share that hopefully with the rest of the XRP community. I would want to know if you knew something I don't know that's horrendous. But what I keep finding time and again is these scary articles. And then I read it and I'm like, no, I already know all these facts here. But they just keep getting recycled and repeated, and it's spooking people, including people that are already in the XRP community that have availed themselves of most of this information anyway. But then there's the headline out there, and it hits them in the feels, and I get how it does that. We're all human. And so that's why I wanted to come out here and be like, just beware of this. I'm not telling you to buy or sell or hold anything. I'm just saying, if something hits you and strikes you in an emotional sense, find a way to remove the emotion, check out the facts, and then just be honest with yourself about what you think makes sense on topics. And that's what I'm doing, But I'll go ahead and wrap up there. And thank you for stopping by, my friends. I appreciate the support. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.